How's it going, everyone? Sean here from Raw Technique Studios. Head over to rawtechniquestudios.com for online mixing and mastering, tutorials, and free courses as well. Now in this video that I'm going to be doing, it is breaking down the tempo, how to find your tempo of your beat or your instrumental, and also the key of it as well. So if you do tuning, you could get locked into the correct key. Finding the tempo comes in handy when you need to record in a hook and you want to just copy and paste it to the next section, so you can be set up to the grid and everything flows properly. It's not out of time. Also, you want to make sure your delays are on time, so being set up to the grid and in the correct tempo allows your delays to be set up in the correct tempo as well. So let's go ahead and jump into it and start with finding the tempo. So I have a beat dragged in right here, and this is just one of my beats that I made a while back. And I need to find the tempo of it, because right now if I press play and if I put a click track on, so you can hear the click track and the beat are just not matching up. It's completely off time. So Pro Tools is set at 120 beats per minute, but my beat is not 120 beats per minute. So let's correct that. I don't want to change the tempo of the beat, because then it would slow it down, speed it up. What I want is Pro Tools to adjust its tempo to fit the beat. So first thing I need to do is get everything set up. Grid mode right here. Right on this part, I want to make sure I'm in bars and beats. That's what I'm viewing. I want to make sure my grid is on. If it's like that, you won't see anything. You want to make sure your grid is on. I like to do quarter notes when I do setting the tempo and matching grid. Make sure all your pre-roll, post-roll, fade in, all that's off, count off is off. Your metronome is, you need it on, so if it's like that, click it on. And if you don't see any of this stuff up here, just right click and you can see transport, all these things. Make sure they're all checked so you have all these options up here. And then if your conductor is on, you need to turn it off, so make sure that's not blue. And this is what we're going to be adjusting right here. You could also bring your transport window down, so Command 1 on the number pad will bring it down, or if you go to Window and select Transport, it'll bring this up here. And what we need to do is tempo tap to the beat so that we can match the tempo here. So what I'm going to do is highlight this, I'm going to press play on the song, and then I'm going to be tapping the letter T on my keyboard in time with the beat so I can match the tempo. Now the click track will get annoying and in the way, so I'm going to go ahead and mute that out. So let's make sure this is highlighted, press play, and then find that tempo. So I was tapping along on the T with the beat, trying to match tempo. If you're not right on beat, give yourself some time. It'll do the average of it. It'll eventually just go on to what you're tapping. And once you feel like you're right on time, hit that enter button and it'll lock it in. So it locked it in at 95. So let's go ahead. I'm going to press return so I'm back to the beginning. Unmute my click, press play, and listen to it. So that sounds like it's on time. I like to listen to the end of the song as well to make sure. All right, that sounds like it's on time as well. And you could always zoom in and see if it's matching on the beats or not. So you can see right here, it hits right on the grid. Right here, it hits right on the grid. So it's matching the grid visually, and through the click, you could hear that it's matching the grid. If you feel like you were tapping the right tempo, but for some reason the beat just sounds off, it might be something that's a 0.5, so you would want to go 95.5, test that out, see if it's a little bit off. Usually it's not a 0.5, it's just a set 95 or 96 or 120 or whatever. Sometimes the problem is on the beat. If you go to the beginning of it and you see empty space in the beginning of it, so it might look something like this. So if it looks like this, then you might not be able to get your tempo correct, because this empty space might not be a full measure before the beat actually starts. So it might be something like this. and then it's not going to match up because you might be set up like this. So you might be hitting the right tempo, but if there's empty space in the beginning of the song, then that's going to throw you off. So what you would do if you have the empty space, go ahead, make sure tab to transient right here is blue. You're going to click on the beat before the audio comes in, hit that tab button, and it'll bring you right to the beginning of the song. Command E, get rid of the empty space, and then bring that over like that. So when you press play, it's going to be on time. So make sure you do that first, get rid of any of that empty space, and then do your tempo tap, so that way you could actually match it and get close. You can look at it visually and you can listen to it. So that's how you get your tempo. If you just can't seem to get it, then just keep trying, and you could do 0.5. That usually, if you can't find like 94, 95, you're like, it's not on, but it sounds close, try the 94.5. Try something like that. Usually that'll be the fix. If not, sometimes like very few times you'll have some weird like 8.6 or something like that, like 95.86, some weird tempo. But usually that's not the case. All right, so we had 95 for this one. Now that's how you set your tempo. Once you have your tempo set up, say you're recording and then you start doing a vocal, and you want to be able to tune that vocal to the same key that your music is. So if your music's in something like D minor, but when you record your vocals in and you're trying to tune them and you're tuning them to C major, then you're going to have some notes that are off, because D minor and C major have different notes in their keys. Now, the way to make sure that you're tuning to the right key is to find out what the key is of this beat. Some producers tell you in the title the key of the beat and the tempo of the song, and you're already set. Sometimes they don't, so you need to find it. There's a software that you could download, which is called Key Finder. So I'm going to go over to their website so you can see it. It's a very basic website. They have a new download right here for Mac. But if you want to do an older download, they have a Windows version as well right here. So you could go ahead and download that, and I'll show you how it works. So I'm going to open up Key Finder here. And all you have to do is drag your beat in to this window here. So I'm going to drag in my beat. And I'm going to go ahead and run batch analysis. It just takes a couple seconds, and it'll make a little beep. All right. And then I'm going to go over detected key, G minor. So now in my session, say I have a vocal, and I want to put a pitch, a tuner on the vocal. So I'm going to go ahead and open up Waves Tune. Say you recorded it in, it sounds pretty good, but you're off a little bit on a couple of them. Go over here to the root. It said it was G, and it said the scale was minor. So I'm going to click on minor. Natural minor and minor are the same thing. Also, Aeolian is the same as natural minor. So there you go, G minor. Now when I tune the vocal, it'll be in the same key as the beat. That way you make sure everything's going together and you don't have any notes clashing with each other. All right, so that's it for finding the tempo of your song and also finding the key that your song is in. If you like this video, hit that like button, subscribe, comment, share, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.